Here is something most quick lube shops will never tell you. The 3,000-mile oil change rule? It was invented in the 1960s for engines that no longer exist, using oil that no longer exists. And yet, right now, millions of car owners are still following it, spending hundreds of extra dollars every year on a schedule that was built for a different era entirely. I am not saying skip your oil changes. I am saying you might be changing your oil twice as often as your engine actually needs. And the reason that myth is still alive is not an accident. Let's go back to where this started. Decades ago, engines were built with loose tolerances. The oil back then was basic, it broke down fast, collected dirt quickly, and needed to come out often. Every 3,000 miles made sense at the time. Then, everything changed. Engines became more precise. Oil chemistry improved dramatically. Synthetic oil arrived. But one thing did not change: the advice coming from quick lube shops. Why? Because more oil changes mean more visits. More visits mean more money. It is a simple business model dressed up as car care advice. Quick lube chains built their entire business model around frequent service intervals, even as technology advanced far beyond those original recommendations. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is just how the business works. And once you understand it, everything starts to make sense. So what does your engine actually need? According to American Autos Association, most car manufacturers today recommend oil change intervals between 5,000 and 7,500 miles for vehicles using conventional oil. If your car uses full synthetic oil, that range extends to 10,000 to 15,000 miles. Let that sink in. Some cars can go 15,000 miles between oil changes, and that is straight from the manufacturer, not some internet rumor. Even the most cautious car owners are dumping their engine oil twice as often as their service manuals actually recommend. The single best thing you can do right now, before anything else, is open your glove box, pull out your owner's manual, and look up what your manufacturer actually says. That book was written by the engineers who built your engine. It is the most honest advice you will ever get about your car. Here is where it gets interesting, and where most people get confused. Oil does not just wear out from miles. It wears out from conditions. Think about two drivers. One drives 45 minutes on the highway every day at steady speed. The other makes 5 short trips around town, engine warming up, cooling down, warming up again. Both drive the same number of miles per month. But their oil is aging at completely different rates. If you mostly drive short trips of around 10 miles or less, you need to change your oil more often because your engine is not getting hot enough, frequently enough, to burn off the condensation that builds up inside. That moisture makes the oil break down faster. Short trips are actually one of the hardest things on an engine. Every cold start puts more stress on the oil than miles of highway driving ever will. Other conditions that age your oil faster: stop and go city traffic, extreme heat, extreme cold, towing heavy loads, or driving on dusty, unpaved roads. If any of those apply to you, your interval should be closer to the lower end of your manufacturer's recommendation, not the higher end. And if none of those apply to you, and you drive a newer car with synthetic oil, you are probably safe going much longer than you think. The time rule: what nobody talks about. Here is the part even careful car owners overlook. Oil does not only age by miles, it also ages by time. American Autos Association notes that regardless of mileage, oil should not be left in the engine for more than 1 year. Even if you drive infrequently, contaminants still accumulate, making regular changes necessary. So if you barely drive, say, a weekend car or a vehicle that sits most of the week, do not skip oil changes just because the mileage is low. Change it at least once a year. Moisture, heat cycles, and oxidation quietly break down oil even when the car is parked. The oil life monitor your car is already telling you. Here is something most new car owners do not fully use. If your car was made in the last 10 to 15 years, there is a very good chance it already has an oil life monitoring system built in. This is not the red oil pressure warning light. That one means stop driving immediately. The oil life monitor is different. It is a system that watches how you actually drive and calculates when your oil genuinely needs to be changed. Many newer cars come with oil life monitoring systems that track factors like driving temperature, engine revolutions, and driving conditions to determine when an oil change is actually necessary. This system does not guess. It calculates. And for many drivers, it will push your interval far beyond 3,000 miles because your real driving conditions simply do not wear oil that fast. Check your dashboard. If you have this feature, use it. Synthetic versus conventional, the difference that matters. Let's clear up one more thing that trips people up: the oil itself. Conventional oil is made from refined crude oil. It works fine, but it breaks down faster and needs to come out more often, generally every 5,000 to 7,500 miles. Synthetic oil is engineered at a chemical level to stay stable longer, handle heat better, and protect engine parts more effectively. Engines using synthetic oil show 40 to 50% less sludge buildup over 100,000 miles compared to those running on conventional oil, even with extended drain intervals. Most modern cars are designed to run on synthetic from the factory. If yours is, and you are changing it every 3,000 miles, you are throwing money away. One thing to be careful about: do not just grab any oil off the shelf. Use the viscosity grade listed in your owner's manual. That number, like 5W30 or OW20, is not a suggestion. It is what your engine was designed around. The signs to watch when oil is actually telling you something. Even with all this said, pay attention to what your car is telling you. If your engine starts making a ticking or knocking sound that was not there before, check your oil level. Low oil or badly degraded oil removes the thin protective film between metal parts. That sound is metal talking to metal. It is not something to ignore. If you see the oil pressure warning light come on while driving, do not keep going. Pull over safely and turn the engine off. That light means oil is not flowing properly, and continuing to drive can cause serious damage within minutes. And get in the habit of checking your oil level once a month. Pull the dipstick out, wipe it, dip it back in, and check where the level sits. Good oil should look like a clear dark brown color. If it looks like thick black mud, it has been in there too long. The real cost: what happens when you get this wrong? Let's talk money for a moment. If you follow the 3,000-mile rule on a car that only needs changes every 7,500 miles, you are doing roughly 2.5 times more oil changes than necessary. Over 5 years of ownership, that adds up to hundreds of dollars wasted. But on the other side, if you stretch your interval too far, ignore your driving conditions, and let oil break down past its limit, the consequences are far more expensive. Sludge builds up inside the engine. Oil galleries get blocked. Parts that should glide start grinding. Engine repairs that run into thousands of dollars all trace back to oil that stayed in too long. The goal is not to change it as rarely as possible. The goal is to change it at the right time, based on your car, your oil, and how you actually drive. So here is the simple version. Forget the 3,000-mile rule. It belongs to a different generation of cars. Check your owner's manual. Know whether your car takes conventional or synthetic oil. Understand your driving conditions, because short trips, extreme heat, and heavy loads all age your oil faster. Use your oil life monitor if your car has one. And change it at least once a year no matter how little you drive. That is not a secret. That is just the honest answer the sticker on your windshield has been hiding from you. Your engine is the most expensive part of your car. It does not ask for much. Just the right oil, changed at the right time.